welcome to another video. Today we're doing a tier list of all the Cars 3 stock cars. So how this works is there's 5 tiers: S, A, B, C, and D. And out of the 35 stock cars, we're going to rank them all from worst to best. So there's only 2 cars in D, which is, one of them is the Apple Racer. Because honestly, I just find the design really bad and bland. And there's not that much detailing to it. The other car having D is Bobby Road Testa. Although my channel used to be called Carbon Cyber 67, I really don't like Bobby as much as I used to. Well, not the not that one, this one. Not that Bobby, this Bobby. Anyways, moving on to C. There's going to be quite a few cars in here that are going to be a C to me. And also, this tier list is my opinion. Sorry if I forgot to mention that at the start. Anyways, in C we have Rev Roadages, because vinyl toupee, especially for this one, is not that consistent. Another C tier for me is Chip Gearings. Although the design looks nice, the execution just didn't look good to me. The next car in C is Darren Ludfoot. It just kind of feels like, although this is probably my favorite Shiny Wax racer, I don't really like Shiny Wax. B. Now we're moving on to B. The first car in B tier we have is Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen, although he's the main character, although this is of his the paint job he got after the crash, I just can't find any images of the Rusty's one. But if I do, I'm gonna post them on screen. I just think the design, like Apple Racer, is not that detailed and it's pretty bland. Next car I have in B tier is Rub Meeker. I like the design they were going with, and it stayed true to the sponsorship of Tank Coat. I just think there could just be a few things that could have made it better. Another B tier to me is Ralph Carlo, and he's the third returning racer, maybe fourth, because we still don't know who Apple Racer is from Cars 1. Next car we have in B tier is gonna be Rev and Gold Racer, also known as Wayne Dasher. It's like the fact for so many years he never had a name, which I thought was really cool. Next car in B is Jimmy Cables. I remember I got him in an 11 pack, like when he was first released back in 2017. I remember thinking he looked so cool, but then when it got his Thailand release, because I lost the one in the 11 pack, I was like, doesn't look that great. Next car in B, we have Dino Dravsky, who reminds me a lot of Kevin Shiftwright and does it like a little worse. Next car in B is Carl Clutchen. The reason why I like Carl Clutchen and why I put him in B is he kind of looks a little better than Ruby Z Oaks, who's like C tier him for me. Next car we got the next car is Terry Cargas, who has a few things that is known about him. It's sponsored by Triple Dent. He was replaced by Cam Sperry, who was in Cars 3 Driven to Win. And he was accidentally, when he was first released, in the Cal Weathers model, and now he's in his Accurate model, which is the same model as Apple Racer, Rev Road Jizz, Rev and Go Racer, Jimmy Cables, which is the Accelovision EA. Next car I have in B is Elaine Locke, who's I think looks cool. I think he looks. I just find it interesting. He's like an upgraded version of Bobby Rotesta with more improved detailing, which looks cooler in my opinion. The last car I have in the B tier is going to be Bruce Miller, who is this movie's RPM racer. He looks so similar to Winford Bradford Rutherford, just with a few different things, like he has orange rims, he has semi more orange than he did yellow and blue in the first movie. Another car I forgot to put in C was Rex. So sorry about that interruption. The last car I have in the B tier is Ford Moviehill, who's another returnee from Cars 1, along with Darren, McQueen, Ralph, maybe Apple Racer, because he could be at Mac iCar, but we don't know. Now we're moving on to the A tier. the first car we have for A tier is Cal Weathers. Alright, now why is Cal in A? Well, it's because there's just a lot of really cool stuff about him and interesting stuff to know about him. Like, he races for Dynaco, he's the king's nephew, the king's his crew chief. He, for some reason, wasn't driven to Cars 3 driven to win when he could have. And those are some reasons why I like Cal. And he's just a really cool racer. Next car we have an A tier is Buck Baringley. For his name sounds funny, Buck Baringley, because I like how it rolls on the tongue. It's a really cool Viewzine racer. In fact, someone made a fan-made movie on that, which I'll probably leave a link to in the description if you want to see that. It was really good. And I also forgot to add a TG Castle to B tier, so sorry about that too. And I also forgot to put honestly, I have no idea what tier to put Brian Sparks in. So Brian. So Brian Sparks is going in his own tier. So sorry this is a little cluttered because this is actually first recording of it. Anyways, getting back on topic. Next racer for A tier is Axis. Next is no. Go up here. Is Paunchy Wipeout. You can see it's a lot of interesting stuff about him. He's one of the returning racers from Cars 1. He's when his diecast got released, it had a major inaccuracy with his eyelids, because if you see his prototype picture, they were blue, but if you look closely on the image I'm using, they were the color black. And he had two variants of this diecast. One with yellow rims and one with black rims. And then in 2019, he was finally released in his movie accurate state. Yellow eyelids, yellow rim. No, not yellow eyelids, blue eyelids, yellow rims. But then there were some versions of but it was only exclusive to an 11 pack, which still had some versions of the old Paunchy. And then in 2019, later that year, is finally released as a single in the movie accurate state. And next car I should have added further later was Brick Yardley. I just think he looks really cool, and I just find it interesting he got fired before a race began. It was the next A tier. Next up in the A tier is Bobby Swift. The reason I like Bobby Swift more than Bobby Rotesta is because he had some speaking lines, and I like how in Cars 3 they gave Octane Gain more of a like speaking chant with Bobby and Danny Suarez. Next two cars we have in the E tier are oh wait, hold on. I accidentally lost an image of accidentally lost my image of Ernie Gearson. I might just cut this part out. Oh wait, he's already there, or never mind. I'll have to move this one out then. Anyways, why do I like Ernie Gearson? I like Ernie Gearson because he's also one of the returning racers from Cars 1. And in Cars 1, it was mentioned that he's one of the oldest racers. So this could potentially mean he's one of the oldest in Cars 3. And yep, that was it. So alright, and the last car in the A tier is going to be Murray Clutchburn. Now why is Murray the top of my A tier? Well, he has two variants of him in the movie. One of them being him. That's mainly turquoise, less orange like you see on this image that I'm using. I also give the image credits to the image is used in the description. Anyways, I like this second version of Murray, which is used on the diecast, because it's orange. And what's so good about orange? You might ask. Well, I'll answer that question when we're in the S tier. Which, speaking of, here we have the top pack here. Anyways, for S tier, we got Marcus Kranzler. So why is Marcus in S tier? Well, here's a bit of a story time. So when I was 6 years old, I was at Target shopping for a Christmas present for my sister. And while we were there looking at the cars, and I thought Marcus looked cool. And then while I was looking, my dad put him in the car and then got him as a Christmas surprise the next day for my parents as their gift for me for Christmas. Next car in S is Tommy Highbanks. So the reason why Tommy is in S tier is because here's another story time. So I just finished my last day of preschool in 2017, and my dad and I had to go to Walgreens, and I remember seeing this big booth with a bunch of Cars 3 stuff. Then I showed it to my dad, and he liked Tommy because he looked cool. And we got Tommy, and that was the first Cars 3 diecast I ever got, which happened over 7 years ago, a couple days ago. Next car in the S tier is, first we're going to get it up. There is Jack the Post. Now I like Jack the Post because in the 11 pack I got of him and Jimmy Cables. With Jimmy Cables in it originally, it came out with Jack the Post, and I thought his design was so cool. Because a few months prior had Rusty Cornfield, but then I lost him. I was like, huh, this could make a good substitute for it. And I've always liked Jack because of that. Next, we have Cars 3 Dirksen D'Agostino. And from the way how I said his name, he's also one of the returning racers from Cars 1. Now I like Dirksen because I think it's unique how some of the racers from the first movie are still around, like Lightning, Ernie Murray, Darren, maybe the Apple Racer. Floyd, the rest of them. I think it's good to know that many veterans are still around, and many of the Cars 1 stock cars are still around and still racing to this day. Next car we got in the S tier is the Throttleman, who is this movie's Mood Springs racer. Well, here's what I like about the Throttleman. What I like about him is I like his name. I like how he's so similar to Chuck Armstrong and improved in many different ways. But there's something that kind of makes me feel sorry for him, just like Chuck. Well, we all remember in Cars 1, Chuck Armstrong was the most damaged racer from the huge crash. And Dodd was one of the first 6 stock cars to get fired, sadly, along with TG, Parker, Carl, those guys. My next car I have in the S tier is Cars 3 Todd Marcus, because it's a massive improvement over Cars 1 Todd. I like how there's cyan and blue and red still the main color. I just find that very cool. Anyways, next car. Our runner-up for the list is Speedy Comet. Now, orange is my favorite color. And I really like Speedy's design. I really like how the blue and the orange go that well. Just makes it look so cool. And I just think it's cool Because in the first movie, there weren't that many orange. I don't think there's only just like one orange racer, like Billy, and Rush Kerber was like more mainly yellow. And I just find that cool. And I remember how excited I was when I got his diecast for the first time. And along with that, this 2020 Parker Brixton Speed Car 2-pack. Anyways, the car that is my favorite goes to Phil Tankson. Now, why do I like Phil Tankson? Well, what I like about Phil is he's so similar to Aiken Axler, who is my favorite Cars 1 racer, if you didn't know that. And Nitro Wade is my favorite sponsor. So, I obviously like the racers, but Phil is also one of those racers that I don't have the diecast of because it's so rare. And so Phil Tankson is my favorite Cars 3 veteran racer. Please let me know what your opinion on this is. Do you agree with some of my thoughts? Do you not? Comment down below. Anyways, we'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.